seemed to free my mind. You don't have to sleep, you don't have to eat, you don't, kind of makes you feel numb, feels as if you don't have to do but alive at the same time. Just about getting in touch with how you feel inside, heroin, and it just feels as if the world welcomes you, special care. I started taking drugs, pot at first, because I didn't like the way that I felt. Before I ever started taking drugs, I wasn't a happy person. I wouldn't say that drugs made me happy, but I'd say they gave me the false confidence to think that I was happy for a while. I could associate with people again, because drugs initially, at least, are very social. You do it with your friends and just connect with people, and you feel as if they're your soulmate, even if it's only for half an hour. And I just wanted to see what they did. I wanted to know how I'd feel on it. I wanted to experience it all. I never thought that I'd feel so alive inside. I didn't think that there was another world of drug taking until I met people that was smoking pot every day. And then I'm like, well, if people are doing that, then why can't I? And with that, that's when I started. And that's when they started to fail my expectations. The last 4 years was just living on drugs. So there's no real highs that I can talk about, and there's no real lows. For me, it was just life, trying to get on all the time. The chase, the scraping up of money. Like everybody else goes to work every day, or goes to school every day, comes home, does their dinner, goes to bed. For me, it was I got up, I had my drugs. I went chasing for more drugs, and I lied and convinced other people to give me money for drugs. My whole life revolved around drugs. All the good times have all merged into one, and all the bad times have merged into one and kind of brushed off as just a bad high. I had my best friend steal from me, and you just never expect that. I always promised myself that I'd never get that low. My stepbrother was a junkie. He used to shoot up speed, heroin, and if he couldn't get that, he'd shoot up water. Anything that just to get that hit. You'd see him come home and he'd be really angry. He'd hold his sister up against the wall with a knife to her throat, and he'd just wig out, just get really odd. And then he'd start bawling, crawl into his mum's lap, begging for money in one breath and then begging her to make him stop in the next. She always gave him the money. He used to rob places. He told me that he shot somebody once. I know a chick too. She didn't have anywhere to live. She just squat. And once these guys took her into their garage and she had some heroin. She was almost unconscious on the floor, and all three of them raped her. And that happened twice to her. And then things scare me. I went through a phase a couple of years ago. I was smoking a quart a day, taking speed twice or 3 times a week, and I couldn't afford it, and my dealer was pushing me to start selling it, so I did. The people that came through my house were pretty dodgy. It was pretty scary, but I got my pot for free. It was a bit bad knowing that I was feeding off people's weaknesses. I had one chick I sold to. She wasn't supposed to smoke. She had congenital heart disease, and she came back every day. And I couldn't say no to her. I said to her once, you know, are you sure you should be doing this? And she's like, yeah, I want to do it. And then she died. And that kind of made me feel really bad. Even though I know that if I didn't sell it to her, somebody else would. It still makes me wonder. I think the worst thing that actually did happen through it was getting arrested. They went through my whole house, everything. They found pot that I didn't even know I had. They found speed that I didn't know I had. They took me down to the cop shop. I was under constant surveillance. I couldn't even go to the toilet without being watched. And then they sent me to detox in rehab. I guess that's a really good thing in a way, because I couldn't get off it myself. But I'm in a lot of trouble now. You don't remember people's names anymore. You vaguely remember faces. Nothing is the same after you've taken drugs.